Hello everyone, my name is Mr. H, and for today's tutorial we're going to be adding a knitted pattern to a pumpkin. So I know I'm a little late for Halloween, but it's better late than never. So step 1, open Blender. Then you're going to get this pop-up, we can just left click and it'll be right away. Okay, so I gotta disable a setting I have enabled real quick because I 3D print a lot. I usually send my models from Blender to my printer used in STL format. Okay. Step 1, make sure you're in object mode, and we're gonna delete this cube because we need something round. So now we're gonna add a UV sphere. So we're going to go left click on add, we're going to go mesh, and then UV sphere. Now we have our UV sphere. If you're a beginner, to rotate the camera, you hold middle mouse button. If you want to move the camera, you can hold shift middle mouse button. Alright, now we can go back to edit mode, and you can see that our UV sphere is a little too round to be a pumpkin. What we want to do is we probably want to flatten out and have more curves or bumps. To do that, we're going to first do edge select. So once again, if you're new, you have 3 types of selections. You have vertex, which are like corners, and when 2 vertexes come into contact like this, it makes an edge, and when 3 to 4 edges come together, they become a face. Also 3 or 4 or more, depending on the shape. Okay, so we're going to go to edge select, and we're going to select all the edges. So we're going to hold shift alt, and we're going to left click on every second edge. Sorry, every third edge. So we clicked on this first one. Now we're going to do 1, 2, click. 1, 2, click. 1, 2, click. 1, 2, click. 1, 2, click, 1, 2, click, and so on. And there's gonna be an uneven number of edges, but that's fine. Alright, now we selected everything, we are gonna flatten out our pumpkin and we're gonna add curves. So first, let's turn on proportional editing. So this is what's gonna allow us to add those curves to our pumpkin. So we're gonna left click here. Then we're going to press S. And you can see we have like a little border now. So now, moving your middle mouse wheel, you can either scroll down or up. And we want to scroll down. Sorry, up. So we want it to give us those curves. Just like so. Now, we can press A to select all the edges. We're going to press S again to scale. We're going to turn off proportional editing, and we're going to do it again. So S, and now we're going to scale it in the Z axis. So now we're going to move that. Alright, now you can see we have a nice pumpkin shape. Now we're going to do vertex select. We're going to select this top vertex. We're going to press X, and we're going to do dissolve vertex. And we're going to do the same for the bottom. Alright, so we have our pumpkin shape, but now we're missing the stem. So we're going to go to face select. We're going to select this top face. We might want to scale it down a little bit with S, and then we can press E to extrude. Then we can rotate with R, and we can extrude again. And then we can scale it down. Then boom, we have a nice little unique pumpkin. Alright. So, you could keep it here, but we want to add our knitted pattern now. For our next steps, we're going to add a modifier. So modifiers let us adjust our objects in very different ways. So we're going to add a modifier. We're going to click on search, and we're going to search for subdivision surface. So this basically makes everything smoother by by multiplying the amount of faces by 4. All right. So don't go too crazy on this because this could crash your computer. Usually I like to keep it around 3 to 4. 1 to 4. So like this would be fine. For now, we'll probably use 3, but not yet. Okay. So our next step is we're gonna add a vertex group. So the vertex group, what it does is selects. So you're gonna select multiple points, and you're gonna assign it to a vertex group, and basically, whenever you have this vertex group, you can just select only those faces. So we're gonna press Shift Alt, as you can see in the bottom right, and we're just gonna select some of the faces, not all of it. We just want the edge of the pumpkin. Then we're gonna go here to data. We're gonna add new. Okay, that's not data. All right, here data. We're gonna add plus. You see this group? We're gonna left click it twice, and we're gonna call it outside. And now we're gonna press assign. Now we can left click out, and when you click select, it's gonna select those points again. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to modifiers. We're gonna add a modifier. This is for the actual texture. We're gonna press search, and we're gonna search up displace. All right. Now we're gonna press new. So now we can add our texture. But first you need to download your texture. To download your texture, I will have a link in the description to our website, or you can just follow along here. All right, so we're gonna go on Google and we're gonna search up screws and circuits. It should be this. You're gonna just click here, wait a little bit for it to load. You're gonna click on our little hamburger menu, and you're gonna go down to tutorials. Now you can just left click here, and you can download your texture. So it would be a PNG image. All right, so I'm gonna put it here in downloads. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to Blender. We're gonna go here to textures. We're gonna rename our texture here to knitted. All right, now we can press open. We can go to our downloads, and now we can look for a texture. So we can just search here, woven, and there it is. Let's check it out. All right, so that didn't work for me. It might work for you. I think you might have to adjust something, but I have it saved in a different file as well. Right here. There you go. It's the same texture. Okay. Now that we have that, we can start adding our texture. Okay. So we're going to click here on our vertex group, and we're going to click on outside. Now we're going to change the strength to 0.1. But I want to show you what happens when we don't. Okay. So if we go back to object mode, you can see that our object's a little crazy, and that's because of the texture. And you can see that only our stem and the bottom of our pumpkin is not affected because of our vertex group. So we want to put down the strength to 0.1. All right, now our texture is a bit better, but it's not very detailed, and that's because we don't have enough faces. So we're just gonna increase our subdivision. You can just slowly see it go back into place, but it's not perfect yet. Our next step is we gotta go back to displace. You're gonna click on this local and make UV, and boom. Now we have our texture added and it looks much nicer. We can maybe do slip in 5 subdivisions, and there you go. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna exaggerate my shape. So I'm gonna go to face select, click here, move this just outside. Okay. want to exaggerate this. Alright, and there you go. Now we have our knitted pumpkin. If it's not up to your expectations, we can adjust this. For example, if you want to make the pattern a bit smaller, a bit bigger, we can go to UV editing. You're going to press A. You're going to go back to your modifiers because you're not able to see this until you enable edit mode here. Alright, now we're going to select here on the UV editing. We're going to press A again, and now we can press S to scale down. So I'm going to try to see how much knitted pattern detail I can add. Alright, that seems to be nice. Or you might make it so it's less patterns. So we're going to press S again and we're going to scale it down. There you go. I think this amount's perfect for me. And that's it. Okay. Next up, we got to apply our modifiers. So going from top to bottom, we got to be in object mode. You can go back to layout if you don't want to see that anymore. So we're just going to click apply. Now you can see everything's been applied and we have our pumpkin. Now we can click on file and we want to do export as STL. Now I'm going to just add mine to my downloads and I'm going to call this knitted pumpkin. We're going to go here, export as STL. Now your file should show up. Right here, you can just left click it twice and it'll open your slicer. So I'm using Bamboo Studios. Depending on your slicer, it might be a bit different, but this is how I do it. Alright, so now we just gotta wait a few seconds for that to open up. Now that our Bamboo Studio is open, so the object from the knitted pumpkin.stl is too small. It may be in meters or inches. So you're just gonna press S to that. You're gonna cancel that, and there we go. Now we have our knitted pumpkin. Now I can just press slice plate and print. And that is all for today. I'll see you in the next tutorial.